Okay, good morning. My name is Andrew Statwich.
I'm Rio Schwalbach.
I'm Christopher Lake.
I'm Marcus Curtis.
And our PR campaign is on the Tipsy Taxi service. This is because of the need for safer transportation during the nightlife and weekend for students and faculty of CSU Stanislaus. Marcus is going to hand out a brochure that we created. It's going to be one that's going to be used as part of the advertisement for the Tipsy Taxi preceding the week of events. And it's also one that has an overview of our PR campaign.
So the reason why we wanted to have a Tipsy Taxi campaign was due to a need for more student and community interaction within Turlock, California. We also are all about safe transportation, and so when we were doing our research, we found that DUIs are actually on a rise in Stanislaus County, with 87 taking place in 2008 and compared to 100 in 2010. And we also, and that was taking place from December 17th through the 26th of the holiday seasons, according to the Stanislaus DUI statistics. Also, statewide, we have a huge amount of DUIs taking place, with 195,879 arrests happening in 2010, according to the California Department of Alcohol and Drug Program. We also know that students do not have a lot of money, and since DUIs can be very expensive and inconvenient, we want to have a service for them to avoid having to go through these complications, because they can be up to $3,000 to $4,000. They restrict your license. You can face jail time and probation, according to the Turlock Journal. The Tipsy Taxi is actually a transportation service established in 1985 at UC Davis. Our company provides a safe and inexpensive transportation for students on weekends. Our audience we would like to bring awareness to are the students of CSU Stanislaus, and we will actually go into that a little bit more in detail later. Our campaign lasts for about 3.5 or 3.25 months, but the Tipsy Taxi Awareness Week will take place from March 11th through the 17th, and then we are going to be having the Tipsy Taxi Awareness Week on the CSU Stanislaus campus and throughout the downtown businesses. We center our campaign around the Tipsy Taxi Awareness Week, which has various interactive and educational events along with a simulation of the Tipsy Taxi.
It has been a concern of ours that many on-campus students at CSU Stanislaus are not as involved in the Turlock community compared to on-campus students at UC Davis. We feel that this situation is due to the lack of a safe and convenient transportation service that can get you to and from campus and even around town. And so, we strive to bring awareness about our Tipsy Taxi so that you can access the town with ease and safety. Our primary audience consists of undergraduate students at CSU Stanislaus who do not have their own vehicle to get around, either because they live on the campus dorms or close by in the Turlock area, and are between the ages of 18 to 24 years old. Our secondary audience would concern all students, regardless of age or gender, and where they live, as well as faculty and administration members of CSU Stanislaus, along with business owners of downtown Turlock. As for our objectives for this campaign, we want to increase awareness of the Tipsy Taxi transportation service by 25%. We also want to have at least 250 students ride the Tipsy Taxi within our weekend simulation that we will be doing in the event, which we'll get into detail later. And lastly, as a critical value of the Tipsy Taxi, We want to increase awareness of safe transportation in response to drinking and driving by 15%.
Our strategy is based on our 3 objectives, which Chris just read off, and we have tactics for each specific objective. The first one is having students sign up when they do the events during the week. They'll give us their name, email address, and phone number. Then we will have ASI email the students based on the email addresses that we received with information about the Tipsy Taxi. We will also be giving out flyers, hanging up posters, and handing out brochures like the ones you received, as well as ordering ad space in the school newspaper and having airtime to conduct interviews about the Tipsy Taxi at the school radio station KCSS 91.9. For the second objective, we will use the names on the sign-in sheets during the week to make a roster of all the people interested in riding the Tipsy Taxi, so we have a checklist for when we do the simulation. Also, we will have ASI contact students via the Stan Alert system with updates about the Tipsy Taxi schedule, if they're not running on time or anything like that. And for the last objective, we will have a guest speaker during the week give a public lecture about safer transportation practices to the students.
Okay, so our budget's pretty in detail, so we just gave a really small version of it on the brochure. So for the transportation, to have all the taxis and the double-deckers and the gas and the people that need to get paid for it, comes out to approximately $11,000, but the taxi and the double-decker are donated by Tipsy Taxi, so there's that budget. And then we have the 4 employees, which is the advertising rep, the business consultant, social media manager, and assistant director, which they have to be paid for the week, as well as the volunteers and the guest speaker, so the total comes out to approximately $9,000 for that. And then we have the merchandise, which is the sweatshirts and the t-shirts that are going to be sold, tumblers, and each of those, the price will be a little bit higher so that we actually make a profit, so we can use it towards other things like the advertisement and such. And so that comes out to about $3,000. And then the advertisement on campus, the brochures, the flyers, the posters, that's each going to be approximately $700 because some of it is donated by different companies. And that is listed above, so the donation list. So from the different businesses that are going to be helping us from downtown Turlock, they'll be put on the back of like the sweatshirts or the t-shirts so that they're being advertised on top of being on the flyers and the brochure. Like on the back it has the Vintage Lounge. That's like would be one of the people that we would speak with, KCSS, the Signal, and whatever they donated, and then it would get used for advertisement or the Tipsy Taxi or payment, and that comes out to about $2,000. And so our total budget comes to about $20,000, and that's just for everything minus the profits and donations.
Okay, our campaign is about 3 months. We are going to be beginning in January with talking to the local businesses on January 1st, and then we will have a weekly progress meeting that will be at 9 o'clock on every Wednesday throughout the month. And then as we go to February, we start to do advertising, and we start to do our sign-ups for our Tipsy Taxi Awareness Week, and we will be holding sign-ups in the quad. Then we will be going to sit down with the secured businesses and give them our flyers and our brochures to hand out to their customers. Then on February 24th, we're going to be meeting with the radio newspapers to increase our awareness. And then we'll be going to March, which is where our Tipsy Taxi Awareness Week will be taking place from March 11th through the 17th. The week before, we will be holding, we'll be sending out emails and text messages through the Stan Alert system. And we will be reminding students who have signed up and then also the potential participants of the Tipsy Taxi. And then we will be doing our evaluation in April, and we will be sending out electronic and also handing out surveys to evaluate our campaign, and then we will also have a final progress meeting as of April 9th. The evaluation of our campaign will be taking place in April, but this will be to see if we reached our objectives. So our first objective was to increase awareness of the Tipsy Taxi by 25%. So we will assess the student participation by actually keeping track of students that participate in our week-long events, either through our events that are on campus or through our simulation. We also will be collecting the tickets from the Tipsy Taxi drivers. We will also be counting the sold merchandise and the ones that we raffled off, because the more our name is out in the public, the more our awareness is being met. We will also see if the business participation was met by counting the coupons and discounts that are collected by the actual businesses. And then we will also be having our surveys sent through email and in the quad to see if people actually are now aware. Our second objective was to have 250 students ride the Tipsy Taxi. So we will actually just be counting how many people are using the Tipsy Taxi. And then our third objective was increase awareness of safe transportation by 15%. And we will be keeping track of the student participation during the Tipsy Taxi week. And we also will do another surveys through handouts and emails by using our sign-up sheet that we have throughout our whole campaign. We will be, in comparison, doing the numbers by how many people are actually at CSU Stanislaus.
In conclusion,
We had a news release that Chris did.
Oh, yes. And that'll be provided to our respective contacts as the event progresses. And we'll be doing an online release mainly.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
in conclusion, we hope to strengthen the relationship between the community and the campus, and the most efficient way of doing that we found would be bringing Tipsy Taxi to Turlock. Thank you for your time. This concludes our campaign.